Hi, everybody. This is Adam Ellenboss from Nightlight Astrology. It's April 12th today, Friday, and I'm sitting down to tell you about the upcoming course that I'm teaching, which I have opened registration for today. So the course that I teach each year is called Ancient Astrology for Modern Times. It's a course in Hellenistic classical astrology, but it also mingles elements of medieval astrology, Renaissance astrology, and even modern astrology as we go. The focus is really on the ancient roots of astrology. And what I'm trying to do in this course is give students a really deep and thorough foundation in the ancient methods, techniques, and maybe most importantly, the spiritual philosophy of ancient astrologers. So we look at things like houses, signs, planets, aspects, all the things that you're probably used to hearing about from astrologers or that you may have studied about a little bit already. But what we're trying to do in this course is ask, where did these things come from? Why were they ever invented, or how were they conceptualized? What's the rationale behind the houses? What's the rationale behind the meaning of the signs? Why do the planets mean what they mean? How does this whole system come into existence? And with that deeper, more grounded fundamental understanding of ancient astrology, what I've found in my own practice and I've seen in the practices and lives of my students is that astrology becomes embodied. You are able to sort out a lot of what is out there on the internet and in books, trying to teach yourself astrology, and you will come to find over time, if you do it long enough, it's very difficult to teach yourself astrology because you're trying to separate what's real astrology and what's not real astrology, where something is grounded in thousands of years worth of astrological tradition and where it's not. What are unique modern inventions, or what are inventions of different time periods of astrology, and what are the most ancient roots of astrology? Not only that, but also how do you take all of these different kinds of concepts and put them together in a meaningful way to read for people? Why did ancient astrologers read astrology? What was the spiritual purpose of reading astrology? How do you make accurate predictions, but not just accurate predictions? How do you deliver them in a way that will be supportive for a client rather than creating more anxiety in them? All of these kinds of issues are at the heart of why I created this course and why I've guided a lot of people through it now. This coming up program will be the 18th one-year long program that I've led over the past 10 years, doing 2 programs per year. So the program begins like all the way up to about lesson 20. There are 30 lessons on the year, and then there's 12 guest speakers. So you have 42 classes in the course of a year, which is a lot of material. It gives you about as much as you can take. The first 30 or the first 20 lessons of the curriculum that I teach is all rooted in helping you understand grounded theory, from the most basic to the more sophisticated level of reading birth charts. Then in the last 10 lessons, what we do is we go into live clients. So I will read for a live guest client, not a student, but a live guest client who's coming in for a reading, and students are silently observing me read. And then after the guest leaves, we take another hour and we talk about craft elements, craft decisions, counseling techniques, how the reading, we kind of, put the reading under a microscope and talk about it so that students can have demonstrated, demonstrative case studies basically to look at with the theory that they're studying. And I find that this is very important because a lot of material out there in books, online, it gives you the tools, but it doesn't tell you 2 important things. One is how to apply it in a birth chart reading, and 2 is why are we doing it and what does a good result for somebody look like, spiritually speaking, so or even psychologically speaking. So that's the kind of stuff we cover. And then we have 12 guest lecturers come in throughout the year through my speaker series that students have access to. And they bring in a huge variety of other topics, from asteroids and lunar cycles and, all different kinds of topics that I don't cover. You have a lot of guest speakers coming in to talk about. There's a group forum throughout the year, and I've not had one program thus far where the group forum is not pretty lively, meaning there's a lot of conversation, there's a lot of sharing of charts, helping each other, looking at things together. The live classroom is also very lively. There's some element of lecture-based material for the first 20 lessons because we have to get through theory and history and philosophy and things like that. But there's always chart application, always demonstration, and then there's always lively conversation with people in the classroom, which is really awesome. So it's a community experience. It's online. I wish that it could be in person, but I have people obviously that follow me and that want to learn astrology from a lot of different places, within the United States and in different parts of the world. So it's always fun to have everyone's usually on web cameras, and it ends up being a very interactive experience. Every lesson of the program during the theoretical portion is packed with additional bonus audio and video material, optional homework and quizzes you can take, optional exercises that you can do with others in the Facebook group, or optional reading that you can do of textbooks that I recommend. I make all of that optional. The only thing that you need to do to be certified for my course is to pass the final exam at the end. So I make all of those things optional. But for some people, having that structured guidance week by week and taking as much of that as you can or as little as feels comfortable is something that really helps deepen and integrate the knowledge. So a lot of people take advantage of that. Some people aren't big into homework and they're not necessarily taking the course to, become some kind of professional astrologer. They're doing it more because they love astrology and they're just doing something for themselves, something for their own healing or something like that, in which case the homework is not as necessary. So it's catered for different intentions that people have for taking the course. The other thing that's unique about the program is that I'm available for everyone in the class all year round by email. So people have questions about the material that they want to discuss, or they're working on a chart, a homework issue, and they have a question about it. You can always email me. I'm sort of like, I have office hours basically by email like a professor would. You can just email me anytime. And in that way, I've developed a lot of amazing relationships with people over the years. Teaching is my favorite thing to do. I love reading for people, but I'd probably say number one is teaching astrology, because in the ancient world, although people would come to astrologers seeking answers, the study of astrology itself was a kind of yoga. It was a spiritual practice, and the practitioner often selfishly gets more out of the experience than the clients, because you're seeing the enactment of karma and fate and destiny and life lessons in so many people's lives, and you're seeing it organized by the beauty of the heavens, and you're seeing that so regularly that it changes you. So people in the course often go through a deeper inner transformation as well. Like, I don't know, if I had to make up a number off the top of my head, I'd say like 50% of the people who take the class seem to take it at a time in their life where they're ready for a deeper change, or they're ready to take their spiritual life to the next level, so to speak. So in that way, I think of the course not just, again, as a professional training course, which it certainly can be for those who take it very seriously, but I also think of it as a healing and transformative experiential learning program. And so that's part of the intention of the course, part of the space that we hold. We don't spend a ton of time looking at each other's birth charts and getting lost in one another's dramas, mostly because we reserve that for our Facebook group experience where we can process what we're studying. The classroom space is more focused on case studies and on theory and method and philosophy and things like that, and discussion about those things. Sometimes we bring in elements of students' charts, but mostly we keep that sort of in the Facebook group for processing the material after class together. So I say that because sometimes if you've ever been in an astrology course and everyone starts popping their charts out, it can get overwhelming. It can be overwhelming for people to be in that kind of environment where they feel like it's just like open therapy session for everybody. I think the course is very therapeutic. It's very healing and transformative, but it's focused on learning astrology and practicing it for others. The byproduct of that process is often reflection on our own charts in different ways. Certainly, I don't know one person who's ever taken the course that has not learned a huge amount more about their own birth charts than they knew at the start. So that's a big, a big selling point for the course. So there are, I think, a lot of really deeply valuable things about different eras of astrology. That's part of the program, is integrating the beauty of different eras of astrology. So this is not just there's only one right way to do astrology. However, I am a Hellenistic astrologer, which means that, I'm teaching you things like whole sign houses. I'm teaching you all of the theory of ancient astrology that I know and use in my own practice, and helping you build a solid foundation in Hellenistic theory and spiritual philosophy, and prediction too. And so with that, blending that with a human, client-centered, personable, care of the soul kind of approach to reading for people, you'll get a really great, again, something that you can take away and apply immediately to reading charts for other people if you're ready for that kind of thing. And if not, you'll have a tool for looking at your own chart for the rest of your life that's invaluable. So that's my sort of advertisement for the program. I hope that if you have any questions about it, you can feel free to email me at nightlightastrology@gmail.com. There's a few textbooks that I recommend, which I send people once they've registered, that you can pick up. You should probably have use of an astrological software program, which I can recommend for you. There are some that are very inexpensive, others that are more of an investment. There's also some free programs online to get you started if it needs a little bit. I offer a range of tuition options for people. So the first option is your normal tuition with a payment plan. That's $1,800 for the year. And you can spread it out over 12 monthly payments. They go out on the 15th of each month through our yoga studio. Then there's a $1,299 early bird rate. So you save $500 if you pay in full and sign up anytime before June 1st. Then there is a need-based tuition, which is a sliding scale for single parents, for people who are only part-time employed or are full-time students, or who are veterans, disabled, retired, or in any kind of real financial crisis or difficult situation. I try to make this program accessible for everybody. I just ask that people don't take advantage of that, and that if you can pay for the normal tuition, that you do. So there's a range of options that try to make the course very affordable for people. Again, if you have questions about whether or not you qualify for need-based tuition, you can email me at nightlightastrology@gmail.com. If you would like to go ahead and register for the course with the early bird rate, I will include on the description of this YouTube video, there will be a link to the payment page on my website. Just use the donate button and enter $12.99 for the full early bird special. If you need a 12-month payment plan, you can email me again at nightlightastrology@gmail.com, and I will set you up with the payment plan registration package that you have to fill out and send back to us. So that's kind of that's the gist of it. The program starts Sunday, June 2nd, and meets on Sundays from noon to 2 p.m., sometimes 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So it's typically between 2 and 2.5 hours for each class. Later in the year, class period length goes down in time a little bit after we get through the denser theoretical material. So I look forward to hopefully seeing some of you there. Every class is filled with amazing people and a lot of community that's built. I'm still really good friends with and say hi to and even hang out with a variety of my students when I'm traveling or going to different conferences and stuff like that, going out for dinner with people. We're all, in a sense, in this program, even though I lead the class, I consider myself an eternal student. I try to teach in the manner that my teachers have taught me, which has been generous, friendly, dialogical, not to show you what I know from having practiced thousands and thousands of readings and having guided hundreds and hundreds of people through this course already. I have a lot of expertise, but I think I'm very intentional about trying to create an environment where it feels like a conversation. So I hope you'll check it out. You can go to my website, check out the certification courses. That's at nightlightastrology.com. And yeah, that's what I've got for you today. So I hope to see some of you in class sometime soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.